Looks good on you, man.
It's a lot tighter than it was 6 years ago.
Cowboys Uncovered back up in the building. Victory Monday. Let's go. Hey, y'all know what time it is. Like and subscribe.
One time.
Finna get into it.
Write it, Joel, write it.
Pump short. Scan the field. Got a man coming open in the back of the end zone. Jalen Brooks hangs on for the touchdown. Third of the day for Cooper Rush.
Dak Prescott, this might be his best play.
He said that.
Yeah, like, wait, what?
He said, well, you missed the whole thing. It's like, since Cooper Rush took over for Dak Prescott. But yeah. Is that a mobile quarterback throwing that out there? Or no, but just kidding. That was a really, really nice play.
I love that, man. Moving around in the pocket. Man, we got to win. Hey, that's 3 wins out of the last 4 games. Hey, I know it's been a little bit up and down this season, guys, but it's been fun. We're postponing the tankathon as best we can. But even with all these injuries, Cowboys are finding a way, next man up. So we're going to get into it, talk about this Panthers game, go into this Bucs preview for Week 16, man. Can't believe it's already Week 16. And remember to like, subscribe, share this content. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us this season. And, hey, we're excited. Cowboys still got a little chance. But, now, Joe.
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about this Panthers matchup that we were projected to lose by Vegas?
Yeah, well, it just goes to show Vegas isn't always right, but the Cowboys, I mean, they I guess seemingly took care of business against a worse team than them. This is a battle of 2 losing record teams, no real playoff sort of chances, definitely not for the Panthers, and under 1%, maybe 2% now for the Cowboys. Some penalties we saw, a lot of mistakes, but like I said, took care of business, largely dominated by the Cowboys defense. We won 30-14. Was the final score there. Despite losing Trayvon Diggs, we found out right before for the season, Cowboys were just too much for the Panthers, and that defense really, really showed out. Micah Parsons and company, 6 sacks, 4 turnovers, 14 takeaways in the last 7 games, which is pretty crazy. And then Bryce Young was held to 219 yards, 73.4 passer rating, 60 yards rushing only. What a performance by the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, my guy I was worried about was Chuba Hubbard. Maybe it was everybody's guy that we were worried about. And only 32 yards for Chuba Hubbard, season low. That's impressive, guys. This guy's in a workhorse.
They were able to bottle him up. And not only that, the defense played with their hair on fire, knocking guys out. Maybe not literally, but figuratively at least. Seemed like they were always making big plays at the line of scrimmage and behind it. As Joe mentioned, with a few of those sacks, Parsons had another 2-sack game. Zimmer really making a case to stick around next year. I don't know how easy that's going to be for him to pull off, but pretty impressive stuff. He's losing a Pro Bowler every week.
Yeah, and Thielen was usually their go-to guy, and even he got held in check. They had a rookie, undrafted free agent, Jalen Coker, who did a lot of the dirty work. But yeah, mentioned guys getting in there. Let's take a look at one of those.
Out of the pistol to begin this second half with the throw. And it's knocked down, and it's another turnover. Also, Odigizua drilled him, and Dallas is on top of it. First play of the second.
Odigizua, he's just going to take an inside stunt. Damian Lewis, the left guard, signed in free agency, and he just wins. I mean, Bryce Young has no chance there, but he has to keep 2 hands on the ball, firm pressure on the ball, in the pocket. I can't stress enough. I've never.
See the excitement. I love it.
Yep. Yeah. On our Cowboys thread, everyone, we got a question in our Cowboys thread saying, what's the point of winning some of these games? Are there any advantages to it? And you kind of see it right there. Some of these younger guys getting that NFL extra NFL reps and winning games. That doesn't not do anything. Like, that's something. They can put that in the bank.
There are guys on both sides of the ball making plays on the line of scrimmage. You look at also what Osa did there, but think about the other side of it. We've got 3 or 4 extremely young green offensive linemen that are not putting Cooper Rush in situations like that. And so we've got to be thankful there. Now, we have given up some sacks, but guys like TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, I've been ringing their bells all past couple months, month or so. And it's just nice to know the scheme is kind of working, even with these ragtag bunch of dudes.
Yeah. Before we keep on going here, let's go back to the defense and give our shot of the week out. What performance? Couple interceptions, couple fumbles.
It's pretty good all-around effort. I think we tried to come up with one person and just had to give credit to the entire unit there, including Zimmer calling a pretty good game. Without that Coker 80-yard touchdown, this game, I mean, it was a domination, but it would have been an absolute gut-crushing.
Yeah, so cheers to the defense. And by the way, that's 3 Jalen's that scored yesterday.
Hey, all right, let's go. Yeah, man. That was pretty awesome, man. We basically had it under control in that first half until kind of Cooper Rush botched it right there in the end zone, in the red zone. We gave the ball right back to them, and then they get that instant touchdown, basically. So that gave us a life, right?
Yeah, Cowboys leading the league in red zone turnovers, and once again rears its ugly head. Cooper Rush kind of bumped the ball against Rico Dowdle's thigh there and just kind of lost it and couldn't jump on it. Take a bad bounce.
All right.
Yeah, you look at what he's not good at, and some of it was that pocket presence.
Yep.
Yeah, but this was some good awareness from CeeDee Lamb to get his touchdown.
Couple big plays on third down on this drive. 3rd and 4. Rush end zone. Lamb adjusts in a fitting way for this drive to end. A CeeDee Lamb touchdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
If we had to do another shot of the week, maybe go with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you look at also
anywhere around him,
Rush was able to. Cooper Rush had all the time he needed for that throw. He stepped into it. He looked like he was just a coach flinging it out to a wide receiver or something on a rep. Because if you look at the way he just was so calm in that pocket, that's what I'm talking about. Bryce Young didn't really have that same protection. And even when you have a guy like Cooper Rush out there, he can throw some dimes if he has time. Ryman.
Yeah. Shout out CeeDee Lamb, becoming only the second Cowboy in franchise history to have 4 straight 1,000 yards receiving. Of course, we know who the other guy is. That's the playmaker, Michael Irvin. So quite an elite 2 company, just 2 guys there.
Yeah, man. And look, CeeDee Lamb's just going to keep being that dude. Let's get another receiver around him, man. Like Brandon Cooks, he hasn't had a game over 30 yards all season. Like,
really?
What do you think about Burden?
Could
be a good pick.
Him. He just didn't produce as much this last season, but yeah, he's probably still got it in him.
I mean, he looks. I'm talking about I think he's Missouri. Where's Burden?
Yeah, Luther Burden. You're talking Luther Burden. Yeah.
I mean,
the wide receiver.
We need somebody like that. I mean, there's a lot of guys we're going to look at here, and it's admirable the Cowboys are staying in this, I guess, playoff race somehow, and they might actually end with a winning record. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. So we finish out. We got so Panthers. We stay in the same division, go against the Bucks, and then we're done with the NFC South. So that'll be good. And then we just end with our own division, Eagles Commanders. I don't think there's too much more to take away from the Panthers game, to be honest. Like, the Panthers are trying to figure out the question to do they have a quarterback or not. It was a game where their team is in a total rebuild. So we all picked them to win, I think, or hopefully y'all did. Yeah. And we were right. So
I came close to the hole there on that one.
Let me give one more shout out to the defense, because if you look at who we lost and the horrible injury to Overshone, and you look at the 2 guys who really stepped up, is Maris Luafau and Eric Kendricks. Both had really good games. They both got turnovers. It just shows the pride they have in their linebacking unit, and they were able to be next man up. And Maris Luafau made that pick and looked. It was I can't wait to see what he becomes. He looks like he's on his way to being a good player.
Leofau, he had the fumble. Kendrick's got
Fumble
the pick.
recovery. My bad.
Yeah.
They both got the ball, which is nice.
Yeah, man. So Cowboys giving us something to be excited about. I love it. Man, I guess we could quickly say that prediction wise, nobody actually got there. But we got close. So maybe
Take a combination
better luck
at a
next
point
time,
here or
guys.
there. We almost got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to this next matchup here. Going up against the Bucks. The Bucks stops here. So you talk about CeeDee Lamb setting that record. Well, Mike Evans, he's headed for another record, man. He's chasing Jerry Rice's 11th season in a row of 1,000 receiving yards. And it actually would be more special for Mike Evans because he's never not had a 1,000-yard season. Jerry Rice did not have one in his first career game. Evans has had it since day one. So he could get into like real GOAT conversation. It's going to be hard to ever like actually top Jerry Rice type numbers, but still he could get to 12 next season if he stays one more year and actually break the record. And really impressive.
Yeah, him and Godwin were always a great duo. And then you throw in 1 or 2 seasons of whatever was left of Gronk, and they had a pretty potent attack. It's great to see him continuing his legacy of being a great receiver. But I also wanted to give some props to the Bucks coaching staff. They have not a guy everyone, people weren't really excited to get Mayfield. But I think it's Liam Cohen, and I think I brought him up maybe a month and a half ago as one of the guys around the league that I kind of was interested in poaching if we could. He was with the Rams organization for, I think, 4 seasons, wide receivers coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator with the Rams, and then he moved to the Bucks. And you look at what he's done with Baker Mayfield, again, a guy who did not earn the trust of a lot of free front offices out there, even though he played, okay. And Liam has kind of taken him and created a pretty good team around him. Pretty good scheme.
Yeah, man. Like they gave their coach to the Panthers. It seems like the Bucks are just loaded with coaching talent. They were able to promote Todd Bowles after they won their Super Bowl. So they just keep having guys. So I know it's going to be a tough opponent. Only 8-6 record. So only 2 more wins than us. But again, Chris Godwin's a pretty bad injury, and they miss Mike Evans for about 3 weeks. But this is a team where not only do they have Evans you got to worry about and Baker, who's really good right now and hot, but at running back, dude, it's like a triple threat. Now I think there's an injury potentially to one of the backs.
Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky Irving. But that's basically the best rookie running back this season. They hit on it. So, so they're crushing it from a run perspective. That'll be a tough thing to stop, but I don't know. I feel like it's Mike Evans in the run game. Outside of that, we could probably key in on Evans a little bit. And if we can keep him under 100 yards, I think we got a chance.
Yeah, their offense is certainly on display. So is their defense. Yesterday completely dominated the Los Angeles Chargers. Won 40-17, put up a 40 burger, and that's a winning team. I think it's
pretty impressive.
If I'm not mistaken, there's division leaders over there in the West. So that's a solid team.
The Broncos are, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, this is another
Chiefs,
team.
Broncos, Chargers.
Oh yeah, Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers.
It's a tight division.
It's another team that has a big hole on defense. So I mean, they had a great game against the Chargers, but Cowboys have given up 356 yards per game. Bucks have given up 356.9 yards per game. So another team that's just barely worse than us on paper when it comes to defense. And I think there's some room to do some damage there. Ultimately, is this going to be a shootout? I don't know if Cooper Rush can keep up in a shootout. He had 3 touchdowns last week against the Panthers, but it'll be a different monster here. But it is a home game, And I don't think a lot of people will have their eyes on this game. Actually, it is a Sunday night game. I don't know if Cooper Rush is ready for one of those to have a 350-yard game or
prime
anything
time.
like that. We'll see.
Might be
Keep
our
in
last
mind,
prime time of the season.
We've only won
probably.
one game at home all year, so
It's true.
Yeah.
What a weird season, man. This has been a weird season, considering they were undefeated at home until the playoffs last year.
that's when it started to crumble, man. After that Green Bay game, keep coming back to that.
Yeah.
Man, we got some people on our revenge list, dude. Our revenge list, when we get right, obviously the 49ers are always going to be on there. We got to make sure we can take care of the Eagles and the Packers, man. We have to show up against the Packers next time we play them.
Yeah, next year.
Not to mention the Texans next time we face them, because I hate losing to the Texans.
It's brutal.
Just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it'll be tough. I just think it's still possible. Like our team is basically, we lose Dak, but then our defense starts to come back, and obviously then we start to lose some of the guys. So we don't have all our pieces at the same time. It's just one of those years. But
let's talk about that for a second, because I wanted to jump in on maybe you could put up the guys we've lost, Alex. I wanted to highlight there's some buzz around Trayvon Diggs, and some people were saying, hey, this within the organization apparently, and I think it was Clarence Hill, said he had a source that said the Cowboys were not happy with how he approached his offseason. I guess he's not on that list, but we know he's injured. And how his rehab didn't really get going until training camp started, and he should have. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but apparently that rubbed the Cowboys the wrong way. Parsons took exception to that tweet and retweeted and said bullshit. So he's sticking up for his guy. But there's no doubt that we've lost a bunch of players. Britt Brown has got a very good reputation as a trainer, as a guy who can rehab people up. But one of the funniest things to think about is how he worked extensively with Dak to get him ready to go, and unfortunately he ended up needing another surgery. It's just a tough scenario. Every team has injuries, but look, there's guys on here that the whole defense feels like it's on there in the middle there. Really hope to see Tank back if possible. Sam Williams will be back. Obviously, Overshown may miss the whole year. Gonna have to start over again next year.
This is a sad list to see, man.
Yeah, we should go right into the free agents, right?
Yeah. So you see here guys that are obviously injured this year, and a few of them are going to hang over and miss some time next year, Overshown and Diggs. But here are the guys that we're losing unless we pay them. So these are guys, and it's sorted by snap count here. Eric Kendricks, you cannot afford to lose this guy, or linebacker becomes the number one position to get in the draft. And then Oso Digizua is kind of coming into his own as maybe not a Pro Bowler, but a top guy in our division at least. Strikes fear into the Giants and Commanders. Eagles might have a way to deal with him, but I'd love to get those two guys back. And obviously Jordan Lewis might be having the best season of his career.
I'm going to go the other way on Kendricks. I think he might be tapped out in terms of, just week to week NFL ability. Like you want a 30-40-year-old linebacker? Nah, not really. He was exposed a few times. Not so much yesterday, but over the season, we saw him not being able to cover the edge and just bad angles and not enough speed. So I would like to replace that. They did say that Leofau could wear the green dot helmet. Like he can do that today. He can call those plays and call the defense. Like I think we give him a shot, and then we'll see where we are with Overshown, later next year. But I'm going to go. Let's get rid of Kendricks.
And I don't know if you had anything here, Alex, but I did want to just point out, like, we've developed a lot of these guys into solid starters, and some of them are just now reaching that potential. And it would just really suck to see Rico, Chauncey Golston, Oso Digizua, Hoffman. Maybe not. They're probably going to keep Turpin, but even him, and you see these guys go be actual pros with another organization after you've spent so much time kind of building them up and experiencing those growing pains with them. They become good starters for us, and it's got to be a priority to get some of these guys back.
Yeah, man, different kind of buck, because they're not going to try to spend any money.
No.
You got to sign Parsons. Parsons is going to cost more than any other defensive player in the league. So,
yeah, exactly. And I've been saying, like, that's our free agent target list is those guys that have been here. But will that change with the coaching potential change? It very well may. So nothing's given. You can't take anything for granted here. But you can take it to the bank. They're not going to go buy a big fancy player for sure.
Yep. And we'll continue to break this kind of stuff down as the season winds down and off into the off season and after the draft, pre-draft. Of course, we got that covered. But coming back to the game at hand, this coming Sunday, I just don't see a whole lot of positives for the Cowboys going up against a good Bucs team. We guys mentioned some holes on defense that we could possibly exploit. But let's talk about what we're kind of predicting for that one.
yeah, you want to start us off?
I mean, actual score prediction.
Well,
I have,
maybe we'll talk a little bit about scheme. Let's talk a little bit about.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Baker Mayfield and I'm thinking this is the exact kind of guy that has been kind of wrecking us and giving us trouble. A guy who can wait for his receivers to get 10 yards down the field and then take off. We haven't really experienced anyone like Bryce Young didn't really do that against us. I just think that Baker's a smart and savvy enough guy, as a real gym rat, as they say. And I think he's going to get some scrappy yards. He might end up with 3 or 4 rushing first downs, which would really be backbreaking for this team.
Yeah. Baker's been on one this season, and Jalen McMillan, their rookie wide receiver, he stepped in this last game. Finally had a big game for them. We were kind of thinking it would happen right after Godwin went down. McMillan himself ended up getting injured, so we didn't see too much of him. Bombadil Fro says, perfect time to listen to the pod at the gym. Yes, sir.
Shout out, bro.
Yeah. With no Bucky Irving, I think that's good. That stat where Cowboys were last in run defense, it was while we were super injured. Now we're injured again, but that was partially with Micah Parsons out, and we get that he's not the run stopper. But just that pressure, it
changes the whole complexion of the whole every drive.
Exactly.
Every drive. Even when he drops back in coverage, we saw yesterday that somebody else got a sack. That Micah dropped back in coverage. One of his teammates went in.
I think it was Donovan, right? I think it was a safety.
Yeah.
If I remember right. And so, I mean, Zimmer is showing he can make some adjustments, which he's had to do every single week, like we've mentioned. I keep talking about the 6-man front that's helped stop the running game. Teams just get away from the run against us for some reason. I don't think they should. But yeah, it's led to some success in the pass rush. If you're gonna not run, we're built to rush the passer.
Yeah, so they'll be down to Rachaad White. He had 2 catches in the past game for a touchdown, or one of those was for a touchdown, and then he had the same amount of rush attempts as Bucky Irving, 64 yards. He won the Super Bowl with them in his rookie season, and he's been the starter pretty much ever since Bucky Irving kind of crept in there. So he can handle being the starter in this game, and even Sean Tucker looked like he could run. He had a big maybe 200-yard game, something crazy earlier this season. So I'm not worried about the run game dropping off, but yeah, our guys, since they already showed they could step up with the injuries we had, I think we're good to go, man. Like Parsons, get at Baker, make him make a mistake, and if we can somehow limit Evans. I don't know if y'all saw that game, but Evans is still getting these deep shot balls, and he's getting used all over the place. So it's not going to be easy cover.
It's true.
We're playing another Jalen and McMillan, so
that's right.
Let's see if he gets
another Jalen next week.
Yeah.
The Panthers couldn't keep pace with us on penalties. I don't know if y'all remember. This was obviously a huge problem in the game. Didn't really matter to the score, but we were called 14 penalties on the Cowboys last game. Where the Panthers had 8 called, which is not a great game, but it's something you can probably live with if it's not a double digit. They might have that particular problem against the Bucs because the Bucs have that big physical receiver. Someone's probably going to get caught tugging his jersey. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I think that's going to be a big problem for us.
Yeah, and Baker has been prone to throwing interceptions. At times this year. I think it was against the Saints game. He had 4 picks in that crazy shootout. But yeah, if we just get a little bit of pressure on him, who knows?
Yeah,
We
man.
got we do have Bland out there. He needs one, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been good since coming back, but we want that record-setting Bland type season. Like we need some turnovers.
Yeah, I think he needs Diggs on the other side for that though.
Yeah, maybe instead of watching these highlights, maybe Bo, you can watch the highlights of those 5 pick sixes in a row to get you jacked up for that workout.
Yeah, man.
That's
Hey,
a
I'm
gem.
holding out some hope, but wasn't enough for me to go all the way there, man. It's just a banged up team everywhere you look, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Want to go to our predictions here?
Yes, sir.
Good.
So this week.
Let's see what happened last week, huh? Who was closest to the hole?
All right, let me try to get to that spot as quick as possible. Score
We all called
prediction.
Cowboys win, so pat on the back.
And I said I win.
Boom. So the score was 30
4 to 13.
14.
Okay. So my point differential was 7. What about y'all?
I think,
A little
yeah, I
bit
mean, nobody thought the Cowboys were scoring 30, that's for sure.
Everyone even said that. No way we're scoring
No.
30, but we also didn't think that we're going to get 4 takeaways, but maybe we should have, considering how bad Young has played.
Except for that one play to Coker, 80 yards or whatever it was.
Panthers have more home wins than Cowboys, though.
Yeah, like Panthers. I don't know why they were projected to win. At least we got the W right. One against Vegas. Hopefully, y'all had them in your picking spots.
I did want to say that,
Yeah.
Alex, you mentioned the Vegas. They were just doing that to get bets against the Cowboys. You know it.
You're right. You're right, man.
Everyone loves to bet against the Cowboys, dude.
Yeah.
Let's look for. I'm curious. What is it? We already made our prediction, guys, but
Yeah.
Right
I haven't
now,
been seeing what the line is right now.
They let's see. What do they have?
Oh, -4.
-4. Over under 49. So they expect some points to happen.
Okay.
One home win for the Cowboys, and on the road, Bucks are 5-2. Yeah. And by the way, Joe, I think that's 11. Dave's is 7 points. But anyway, you gotta have exact score. That's how we play this game.
No, I'm saying 24.
It's 11, bro. But it's
24 to 30 is 6, and then 13 and 14 is 1. So that's 7.
That's not a real stat, Joe, but we appreciate it.
I'm making it up.
All right. So I went 31-27 Bucks.
That's 4 points. That's the line right there.
Yeah. So Bucks, they've had most of their games in that 30-ish range. Cowboys, this last week was our first game at 30 in a while. So I was like, I don't know if we get back to 30. Yeah. And even that Bengals game where we got 20, what I did was I was like, we should have scored if that muff punt didn't happen. So I put 27 in for that game also. So I think we get back to 27 here. And but Bucks somehow get it done. Probably Mike Evans touchdown to win it.
Makes sense. Joe's next, I think.
Yeah, I forgot what I put. Don't scroll.
All right.
Scroll. There you go.
27 to 16. There we go. The Cowboys get 1 touchdown and a bunch of field goals, and then the Bucks just kind of dominate time of possession and do their thing.
I didn't see a game like that. I was looking more for. Oh, maybe you got a screenshot of an old one. I'll tell you mine. I've got a 30. I don't know why it's not showing, but 34.
I got to refresh, but yeah.
Yeah, refresh. 34-24 Bucks. So I'm going with a 10-point win. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get a little desperate to keep up with the Bucks, and you're going to get maybe a bad turnover to a pick 6 or something or 2, or maybe Cooper Rush dropping back trying to get a deep ball and just getting sacked, fumble 6 or something. I think they're going to get desperate, and it's going to play right into the Bucks' hands. But they'll keep it close to about halftime, but ultimately not enough.
Not enough. Well, Let's see if we can actually stop Mike Evans from getting this record. I'm a football in general guy, so I would love to see him get this record. But he's not going to get it this game. He'd need like 250 yards if that happens.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you just jinxed us, Alex.
No.
You just put it in the universe, brother. What are you
he
doing?
only needs 2. He can only do okay. Well, 2.
He only needs 7
he has
touchdowns.
like 180 at like halftime, and then we're like, well, F it, we're just going to go for it.
Man, why not, dude?
You
The only
it's
thing that's going to
Cowboys.
stop them
Go
is
for it.
if somehow they play undisciplined. Because if we can get them on some cheap, opposite PI or holding and get them behind the sticks that way, I think we can have a much better chance. But I don't see them losing the penalty game to us, the kings of the penalties. We will get double-digit penalties for sure. And that might lead us to some bold predictions.
Ooh, or some
If you-
hot takes. We'll
If
see
you
what
got
happens.
one.
I
All
will
right,
say that
lay it on us. Only one this week. Lay it on us.
I got a weird one, obviously. I'm going to go with a Lupke touchdown.
Oh, spicy.
Big man, I think they're going to find a way to spread out the Bucks, and I think it's going to lead them to a vulnerable red zone. I mean, we might fumble the ball in the red zone. It happens. Actually, Lupke's done that before, but I think it's time for him to rumble and bumble and stumble into the end zone.
Love it, man.
If
All
he
right.
even plays, they might not even elevate him. I don't know.
Nah, he's gonna get there.
That's why it's a hot take.
Yeah, he's gonna get there. All right, how you feeling, Joe?
hot take. This is going back to something I saw this last game. I really, really liked the 2 rushes that Turpin had, just lining up his running back. I think maybe he gets a rushing touchdown. That's how he scored TD this game.
Turpin
He looked like that scat back that we're trying to get from Deuce Vaughn, which, by the way, has been inactive. I think he's only suited up twice this year or something, but
yeah.
he's also gone this season. Sorry, Dad, but
it's fine.
Right.
That was a late pick. That doesn't hurt anything really in the grand scheme.
just the family pride.
Yeah,
You're right about Turpin. I think. I mean, he's just so good with the ball. It's nuts.
Yeah. All right. Mine is we're gonna see Rico Dowdle for the 3rd consecutive week break his career high.
Oh, over 150.
Yeah. So he previously just hit his career high. This is from last week's. This is last week's graphic. Then he went out and topped this number. He already
so it would be his 4th.
He topped this week. No, well, I said consecutive because was that I guess that Thanksgiving game was because we had the gap, I guess. So yeah, it'd be 4 in a row.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dang. All right. So Rico's gonna keep pushing, and we're getting to. I think you put up 180.
Oh my
149.
God.
He put 149 last week against the Panthers, and you're going
180 is awesome.
Well, I don't want to just go to 150.
That's fair.
No, dude. Bet $1.
I mean, he's gonna break out like DeMarco Murray did or some shit. I love that.
Hey, Rico's trying to get a contract this year, right? Like of all
That's
time.
No, you're right. He
like,
is playing for that cash, dude. He wants the bag.
And like the way the season's playing out, everyone's injured. They need to lean on this guy. Obviously, we got CD as a distraction to keep the boxes open, so it's possible.
Let's keep it here on Rico for just a sec because it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do behind this makeshift line. Zach Martin goes out, no problem, right? Let's just keep handing the ball. Like, unfortunately, we went away from Rico a little bit last week in the 4th quarter when we could have just, kind of just pounded it down their throats a little bit. He had success, obviously, but it's kind of refreshing to see a back with a little speed and power, a little juke. You saw all the moves.
It's impressive to me that he was able to put together a stat line like that with only a 12-yard long. That shows a lot of moving the chains, a lot of grinding, a lot of up the middle nonsense, finally getting through the scrum. But nothing longer than 12 shows you that they really committed to it. And he was just putting up gains every drive. It was impressive stuff.
Yeah, and also he's a fantastic receiver out of the backfield. We don't give him enough credit for that. Remember, he had a couple receiving touchdowns early in the year.
Oh, right. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. for some reason didn't target him in this game. But yeah, like you said, if they don't go away from him, that's just more attempts. What if he gets to a 30 attempt game? Like, I never saw him as a workhorse guy, but it was because of the injuries. And right now he's healthy, so and the season's almost over, so just run him out there. He's not going to be back next year probably, so why not? Well, I mean, I would love to have him back. It's not about that. It's just Cowboys are doing a full evaluation. Like, let's know if Rico's better than one of these college backs that are supposed to be great. Otherwise,
that's fair. That's fair.
Out.
We'll just throw Turpin back there as our lead back. No big deal.
Hey, I love it. All right. Cowboys Elite. I mean, what? Yeah. So, yeah, let's get no more interceptions. Like, everyone's just clicking that last game. So I love to see it, man.
And a 119 rating is solid.
That Cooper Rush fumble.
Dude,
come on, man.
Right. It was in the red zone. That's pretty brutal.
Some of the ways he just takes sacks is just takes it. Like, okay.
I think we can talk more about McCarthy's problems calling plays late in the game, but hey, they came away with a really big win. I'm sure they're all fired up, and they're let someone come into their house, hopefully. And Boston
Cowboys getting maybe their last win of the year and last win before Christmas, possibly. We'll see what happens. Maybe we get Santa comes early and gives Cowboys a little gift. Maybe Micah Parsons, the defense finally scores something.
Yeah, I would love to see it, man. All right. Well, I want to see the CeeDee Lamb touchdown one more time.
Couple big plays on third down on this drive. 3rd and 4. Rush end zone. Lamb adjusts in a fitting way for this drive.
So awesome.
Love it. All right, guys. Hey, like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all checking us out. We'll be back next week. And, hey, enjoy that Sunday night football matchup between the Bucs coming into Jerry World. And we're going to get that W, all right? And, hey, follow us. Undroppables. I'm at Dynasty F Key. We got Joe
Cowboys
Garcia,
fan
23.
David.
Yes, sir.
I'm Stevie and Leander, boys.
Hey, let's
Write it, Joel. Write it.